Um, Welcome back to the Chatting Average. That's Jon Lieber. That's Jon Lieber. I'm Jon Lieber, and we're Jon Lieber. We are
This is
Jon
the
Lieber.
internet's leading Jon Lieber podcast, and today we're going to be talking about Jon Lieber. So with that being said, John, take it away.
Yeah, the first.
No, he meant
I'd
me.
like to. No, he meant me. First, I'd like to comment on the fact that last week, while tagging out of a story during a live shot, I said, "Reporting at the Capitol, Jon Lieber, on 13."
Yeah,
We strive for professionalism.
give
here
it up.
Dude,
at all
That's-
times.
That's a Sinclair promise, baby. We can't use
Hey,
that. We're gonna get sued.
all right.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
You didn't have any FCC violations this week, so you're already doing better than some of our former colleagues.
What was AOC doing, man?
I love that we're
Right.
starting with this. If you haven't seen the clip, our former friend and colleague Aidan O'Connor had a little bit of an oopsie daisy where he said some words.
It wasn't on accident.
No, he meant it.
Flew straight through the stop sign. And listen,
He just didn't
I
know.
don't think anybody's disagreeing with what he said. I don't think anything.
No,
No, he's right.
The two guys on the show were like, "He's not wrong, but come on." Okay. Well, the baseball series season thing has started. The thing that we talk about for most of the year, it's begun. And
Sometimes we don't talk about it.
yeah, like today, we talked about other things first on literally our first show since opening day.
Yeah, most weeks though. We start away from baseball most weeks.
Bro.
Pretty fun weekend, I guess. I don't know about you guys, but this podcast is 2-7 this week.
I think we should start with a little national chatter, just because all three of our teams certainly don't deserve the early season spotlight.
Atlanta won.
I don't know, maybe you guys have different directions you want to take this, but to me, there were two major narratives from the first week of the Major League Baseball season, right? There were two things that stuck out. And the first one, obviously, to me, was the ABS challenge system, right? Like, that was always going to be a huge narrative, but I think it was bigger than even a lot of people expected it to be. And the second one was the rookie breakout. Like, there are a lot of rookie bats that are making immediate impacts this year. And that has definitely caught my attention as well. Where do you guys want to start?
Let's start with ABS.
Yeah.
I think ABS is amazing. I think it is awesome to watch a catcher catch a ball that is ungodly in the zone and then go. And the umpire has to go, fuck.
Go, oh,
Hand in the air, turns around and looks at the scoreboard and just goes, thank God we have a union. Like,
here's the thing, right? Like, it's interesting because I think as the season progresses, we're going to notice, like, the umpires that are perceived as good get challenged less, and the ones that are perceived as bad get challenged a lot more. But I'm interested to see, because obviously when, the CB Buckners of the world get challenged in back-to-back pitches and lose both of those back-to-back challenges, like, obviously they're going to be made fun of when that happens. But I'm curious to see how much of the baseball media, just the baseball landscape in general, kind of is quick to applaud umpires that consistently get their calls right and don't get overturned very often.
yeah,
I
think I'm also interested to see on that same point, Adam, is like how much respect for a good umpire catchers and pitchers have. Because like maybe it's this first weekend, whatever, but like there were a lot of challenges throughout the weekend. Like, I mean, we literally had one that gave a crucial strikeout in the 9th inning in the Orioles Minnesota game. Like, but maybe down the line, it's not CB Buckner behind you, and it's one of those guys who's called like 18 perfect games in their career already. And it's, well, it was close, but do I really want to use a challenge here because this guy's normally pretty good?
Right.
And then, see how that filters in. And I almost also wonder if the MLB and the umpire union are looking at this going, okay, CB Buckner is going to have 170 challenges on him by halfway through the year. And guys that are bad, like, can you imagine if Angel Hernandez was still umpiring games in Major League Baseball? Like, guys like that are, like, I wonder if there's going to be anything where it's like, it's actually obvious to fans now. Like, you could look at umpire scorecards on Twitter after every day and go, God, CB Buckner just had a terrible game. Wow.
Yeah. Diaz is down at the bottom of the leaderboard again.
It's just like the last game that CB Buckner called from behind the plate. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if it becomes more of an issue for people and the league now that just somebody watching the game is going to have to watch a CB Buckner called game get 9 challenges in the first 7 innings because the catchers and the hitters know they're right. Like, I don't know. I'm interested to see how that pans out.
Some of the initial stats we're seeing so far, and Baseball Savant has a whole new ABS dashboard on it, which has been a really fascinating.
It's very good, by the way.
So, right now, 54% of ABS challenges have resulted in overturns. That is, out of 175 attempts, 94 of them have been overturned, 81 have been confirmed. To this point, catchers are the most successful. They have 64% on 92 attempts. They have 59 overturned calls versus 33. And the most successful overturns for a batting team, Cincinnati has won 6 of their 6. And Kansas City has won 4 of their 4 as a fielder.
They were stacking them up against CB Buckner, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Now, the ones that have lost it the most is the Braves went 0-4 as a batting team this weekend, which is great for me. But they have challenged 12%, and they have gone 0-4 as batters. Now,
that brings me to a point that I wanted to make when Lieber was talking. So very quick aside, but you mentioned this idea of the good umpires maybe not necessarily being challenged so much, and then again the Braves only using 4 challenges over the first series of the year, basically. Like, I think at a certain point teams are going to realize, why not just use all of our challenges every game? Like, it's not like football where you lose a timeout for using a challenge, right? There's not really a drawback. Why not just burn them?
You just lose it at some point. I mean, like, if you don't get it right, you lose it. You only have 2 all game. But, like,
why not use both of them?
Yeah, you should.
The thing that I wanted to talk about here was Jeff Passan wrote a pretty good explainer on ESPN about this over the I think earlier today or late yesterday. And the biggest miss of the weekend was Trip Gibson. He was behind the plate for the Athletics Blue Jays game on 7th inning, 6-2 trailing, George Springer's season 0-2 splitter from Elvis Alvarado. Gibson punches him out on it. ABS was made for a pitch like this because the pitch was overturned as a ball. It was outside of the zone by 4.3 inches. That is over an inch more than any other pitch called a strike thus far. This is like a ball and a half outside the zone. Like,
hang on, I am re-pulling up the Baseball Savant page to see this pitch.
Now, and the thing is that you can see that, like,
big deal, dude. 4 inches out of the zone, like, that's pretty obvious to me. That's a substantial amount.
And the thing here is that people are concerned that this is going to give an unfair advantage to a batter, right? Like, but if he gets a challenge and it changes the thing. Springer struck out the next pitch he saw.
Yep.
On a 99 mile an hour fastball, middle of the strike zone. The process is quick. It minimally affects the game. It has not stopped managers from getting upset about it. Derek Shelton started. Derek Shelton tried to essentially fight a robot over the weekend, and got ejected by Laz Diaz for it. which led to a great call from Kevin Brown on MASN about it. Like, you can't fight the robots.
What? My thing is, it's like, for how long has the you can't argue balls and strikes rule been a thing, right? And now it's hey, we've got this thing that's perfect. Okay? If you challenge it and it comes out, you really can't argue with it because it's perfect. Every one of your hitters was measured for ABS. Every zone is perfectly curated to every hitter. And then a call gets overturned, and you're like, what?
Most of the complaints...
And, like, they put it on the big board.
Most of the complaints I've seen about ABS so far is people talking about, like, the buffer zone, right? And talking about how some, there's no such thing as a marginal strike anymore, and balls that barely nick it by, a tenth of an inch or whatever still count as strikes. But it's like, to me, all of those nitpicks are nitpicks with the rule of how much of baseball needs to nick the strike zone and not with ABS itself. Like, this is laser measured to each player by their height specifically, as you mentioned, John. Like, the strike zone, the ABS is not inaccurate. What it says is right. Respectfully, what it says is right. So all of the gripes that I've seen with ABS so far really have broken down to people disliking the rule, not the system.
I don't really I'll be honest, I don't really like the fact that, like, a ball a tenth of an inch inside the zone is a strike. Because, like...
And that's a gripe that you can have, but that's not an ABS problem.
I know. No, I agree. It's not an ABS problem. It's a ruling problem, what we're considering a strike. And I don't know what it needs to be, but, like, at that point, the only thing stopping us from getting rid of the umpires is having more than 2 challenges a game. Because then it's just, no, I think that one ticked the zone. Tap my head. It did tick the zone. The umpire's useless because he called it a ball because it is a ball. I mean, like, in almost all reality, legitimately, it's a ball, right? 9/10 of the ball is out, or 9/10. The rest of the ball is out of the zone. I don't know. I think it needs to be a little more than, like, the tip of the bottom of the ball barely caught the corner, and that's a strike. I think that they may look into something where it's like, maybe it's got to be like half an inch or something. Who knows?
Well, the margin of error is a sixth of an inch, I believe, is the margin of error that's been given by MLB. So I think there's a technical limitation to it as well. Like, you've got, like, a few cameras, like a few Hawkeye or TrackMan cameras or whatever, which are very highly tuned, very advanced cameras, to be sure, but they're still just cameras. Like, there is there is an upper limit. There's a point of diminishing returns where you can only get so exact. But I agree with you. Like, some of these, like, it's like, one seam of the ball has caught 1 nanometer of the corner of the zone, and that is a strike. And it's like, all right, really? Like, wow. Like, I get it. Like, I'm not going to sit there and be like, you damn robot, I can't believe, like, I don't care. Like, this is what the system was made for. But also, like,
also, for what it's worth, I think realistically, as frequently as calls will get challenged and as frequently as balls are in that specific position, like, I really don't think this is something that's going to come up all that much. I think a lot of these calls are going to be a lot more black and white. I think it's just the fact that we've had, one example of a very marginal strike like this in the first weekend that has kind of got people a little nervous.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, either way, though, like, I don't know, like, unless it's happening in the 9th inning.
Exactly.
But, like, well, then it comes to the point of, it's like when you're watching, your favorite college basketball team play in the Final Four of March Madness, and the referees kind of go a little laxed in the last 3 minutes to let these guys play it out and find an outcome themselves. And it's like the winning team's going to go, God, I'm really happy the refs did that and just let them play. And the losing team's going to go, well, what the hell? They just let them play. They were getting hacked the whole last 3 minutes. I wonder how that will end up here, because there is nothing of that. It's not like somebody's going to give you a strike call just to give you a strike call anymore,
right?
Because you can just challenge it.
There's no umpire favors anymore. which,
Yeah.
There weren't any umpire favors before.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing is like, you're going to get, like, your team's going to get burned on something. Like, the World Series this year could legitimately be decided by the catcher tapping his head and the game ends.
But it probably won't.
It probably won't, but it could. Or any game in the playoffs, game 162 to get into the World Wild Card, whatever it is, could be decided by a catcher tapping his head. Well, guess what? Your team did that in Game 73, and the only reason you were there for Game 162 is because it worked for you in Game 73. Like,
these things come out.
It's not always going to go your team's way, but like, if it consistently doesn't go your team's way, they got to just start telling their guys to stop challenging things because they don't see the zone very well.
Mm.
Rookies?
Yes.
Rookies.
So I think that's kind of been the other underlying narrative of this opening week, and especially opening day. There were 4 rookies who homered in their first game of the season. In fact, their first game of their regular season careers. I say regular season because Jay Stellater is a little kind of an interesting one. He debuted in the postseason last year, but this was his regular season debut. 2 home runs for the new Guardians center fielder. JJ Weatherholt homers. Who else we got?
Murakami.
Mm-hmm.
In the first weekend or the first day or the first weekend?
First day.
Carson Bench, a walk homer and a steal in his debut.
Yep.
McGonigal.
He went 4 for 4. No home run, but 4 for 4 is pretty dark.
4 for 5.
And you've also seen like Okamoto. On the Blue Jays
in game
also.
3.
Owen Casey, I guess, isn't like a. Yeah, I mean, is he still a rookie?
Rookie-ish.
I
don't know if he has eligibility or not.
He has eligibility still.
But a guy who's basically entering his first full season, who has been lights out for the Marlins. A Marlin team who I don't want to say anything too early, like, because it was the Rockies, but like they looked kind of fun. They looked kind of fun. They looked kind of fun. I don't know.
They won 3 games by a combined total of 3 runs. Let's pump the brakes here.
Yeah, well, the White Sox play him this week, so we'll see how that goes. Owen Casey is still a rookie for 2026.
TJ Rumsfeld is also a rookie that also homered in that series, by the way.
Also, Joey Wiemer has been raking. He's not a rookie at all. Like he's like been in the league for like 3 years at this point. Yeah. But I just find it really funny that Nationals outfielder Joey Wiemer is
he's batting 1,000, dude. Through the
really
first
good
of the year, he's batting 1,000.
Sure, man. Whatever. Carter Jensen has been a regular starter for the Royals. I know he debuted last year. He might still have a little bit of eligibility left.
Sal Stewart with the Reds got nailed with a line drive on opening day, and then turns around the next day and hits a home run. 3 for 4 performance.
And look, I picked Sal Stewart up in fantasy.
That'll work.
Thank you, Sal Stewart. Still has third base. Still has third base eligibility as well.
Oh, that's big. That's actually very big.
Get you a man who could do it all.
All like that is to say, catcher eligibility. What are we doing here?
All that is to say is that this has been a really, really good start for young players, and I can see this being kind of a case study in look. This used to be like, oh, you've got to have like 500 plate appearances at every level in the minors, and then you'll get your shot. Teams aren't waiting like that anymore. If you have the major league stuff, it used to just be pitchers. Like if you're a pitcher with major league stuff, like over the last couple of years, they will shuttle you to the majors as quick as possible. But now it's just huge crop of position players that are really, really impressing.
Shall we get into our series?
Let's do so.
Where shall we start today?
On
opening weekend.
My team didn't win any games this weekend.
Well, then it would be the IL because the only team that did was Atlanta.
Let's do that.
All right. John, in the future, cue that music. The New York Yankees sweeping the San Francisco Giants 7-0 in Game 1 for the Yankees. Trent Grisham with the 2 RBI double, triple. Apologies, it's early. I'm just getting started. McMahon with 2 RBIs. Max Fried, 6.1 innings pitched, 2 hits, 4 Ks. Game 2, a 3-0 win. Judge, he hits a homer. Stanton, he hits a homer. The man who is terrified of 1940 Germany, Cam Schlittler, 5.1 innings pitched, 1 hit, 8 Ks. The Yankees pick up a Game 3 win and the sweep 3-1. Ben Rice, a 2 RBI double, and Judge homers again. Milwaukee sweeps the Chicago White Sox 14-2 in Game 1. Maedroth and Murakami each homer. That was fun. That was cool. A 4-run second, a 3-run sixth, a 3-run seventh for Milwaukee kind of does it there. A 6-1 win in Game 2 for the Brewers. Murakami a home run. Mitchell goes 2 for 4, and Yelich goes 3 for 5. And 9-7 in Game 3. Montgomery starts the day with a grand slam. Murakami homers a couple innings later, but then Gary Sanchez hits a 2-run homer. A 6-run eighth for Milwaukee, capped off by a pinch hit Christian Yelich 3-run home run, and he pimped it. I've never seen that man show that much emotion. Boston and Cincinnati. Boston wins Game 1 3-0. Roman Anthony 3 for 4. Garrett Crochet 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 8 Ks. 6-5 in Game 2. After 11 innings, the Reds are in control. Sal Stewart a home run. Ellie homers, and in the bottom of the 11th, Dane Myers has the RBI walk-off single, and Cincinnati comes back on Sunday to get the Game 3 win and the series win. Willie Abreu has a 2-run home run, and Eugenio Suarez hits the 3-run home run. That's the only runs of the game there. Detroit beats San Diego in Game 1 8-2. Dingler, a 2-run home run. McGonigal, Expelliarmus, 4 for 5, 2 RBIs. Scooble goes 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 6 Ks. Detroit wins Game 2. They have a 4-run eighth. They win it 5-2. And Game 3 goes to the Padres as they salvage the series. Ramon Laureano off to a good start this year. He's 3 for 4. Tatis and Merrill each have RBIs. The Tampa Bay Rays and the St. Louis Cardinals. St. Louis hosting this one. They win Game 1 9-7. Like we said, J.J. Weatherholt with a home run. And in the 6th, Tampa Bay comes in and scores 6 runs. But in the 6th, bottom of the 6th, St. Louis comes in and scores 7 runs. Alec Burleson hits the 2-run home run to break the tie. Game 2, a 6-5 win for the Cardinals after 10 innings. Tampa Bay comes back and ties it down 4 in the top of the 9th. And then J.J. Weatherholt says, actually, I am who they say I am. I am the Lisan Al-Gaib, an RBI single. Game 3, an 11-7 win for the Rays. Yandy Diaz, 5 for 6 for 4 RBIs. Aranda and Mullins each have 2 RBIs on the day. Texas gets the series against Philadelphia. 5-3 Phillies win in the first one. Schwarber hits a 2-run home run. I don't know. Apparently nobody wanted to give him more money. Alec Boehm has a 3-run home run. Christopher Sanchez, 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 10 Ks. 5-4 in Game 2 for the Rangers after 10 innings. Seager, Berger, each homer. Phillies tied in the 9th and then 2 runs in the 10th for Texas. And 8-3 for the Rangers in Game 3. Nimmo with the 2-run homer, and Andrew McCutchen hits a 3-run homer as well. Atlanta gets the first 2 games in the Royals series here. Albies home run, Baldwin home run, Michael Harris the second hits a homer, and Sale goes 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 6 Ks. Game 2, a 6-2 win for the Braves. All of the runs scored in the 9th for Atlanta, and Dominic Smith walks it off with a grand slam. And Game 3, the Royals salvage the series with a 4-1 win. Carter Jensen hits the homer. Lugo, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 Ks. John, let's start with the Braves because you won games. Sorry,
I actually want to jump in before we start and just say it's bullshit to have IL games to open the year. Opening day, we should not have interleague play. This makes no sense. What are we doing here?
I agree.
Well, while we're commiserating, I'm up. Albies, Homer, love that. Drake Baldwin, it was his birthday a couple days ago. Shout out Drake Baldwin, Missouri State Bear. Chris Sale, the only pitcher that the Braves have. which is love that.
At least you got to win on his day.
Also, Dom Smith, in all seriousness, Dom Smith, a walk-off grand slam. On one hand, Carlos Estevez, absolute pulled pork, threw a 92-mile-an-hour bacon, egg, and cheese on a Kaiser roll, salt, pepper, ketchup, straight in the center of the zone. Yes, John.
I picked him up that morning in fantasy.
Fire your head scout.
But also just a great story for Dom Smith. Left camp. His mom passed away with a long stint with a pretty aggressive form of cancer. She passed away on the 18th, and in his first game as a Brave, a walk-off grand slam, the first player in his team debut to ever hit a walk-off grand slam in the history of Major League Baseball. Not like that's necessarily, yeah, it's a lot of qualifiers. Team debut, walk-off, grand slam.
Yeah.
But Dom Smith's the first one.
Congratulations on the nichest record ever, Dom Smith.
I can't wait for this to somehow happen like next year, and it's like the first time a player has ever hit a walk-off grand slam while down 3 runs. Just keep the qualifiers going.
Well, morning.
Then you guys get carved up by. Then you guys get carved up by former relief pitcher Seth Lugo.
Okay, well, look, he looked good.
I'd argue yes. He's got
Jorge Mateo is starting at shortstop. The Braves have been using a lot of their new additions, which is Dom Smith, Jorge Mateo, Kyle Farmer, Mike Yastrzemski, Mauricio Dubon, Didier Fuentes. He was already there. Didier Fuentes, 4 innings of 1-run ball, just got sent down to AAA to stretch him. Yeah. But he's being stretched out as a starter. That's why. He wasn't fully stretched out through camp, and they wanted to see. And I don't know.
Last year,
he was stretched out last year, but he also he just wasn't good last year.
Well, he was also like 19 years old.
Yeah. So it's kind of a weird time for the Braves because tomorrow being Tuesday, there's a decent chance that the Braves. I just want to shield ourselves for future proofing. Okay.
God, I hope John puts this up before tomorrow.
I'm going to. It's just like tomorrow is Tuesday, March 31st, so that people know which game I'm referring to. In that game, either Jose Suarez or Martin Perez is pitching.
Are you worried at all? Who started Game 3 for you guys?
Dude, Martin Perez still has a job.
Correct.
Yep.
Yes. Don't worry.
So Grant Holmes.
Okay.
Grant Holmes
Raylo started Game 2.
Yes, Raylo started Game 2, and he was throwing 88.
Are you worried Yeah. Are you worried whatsoever that the man that used to throw 99-mile-an-hour fastballs is now throwing 92-mile-an-hour fastballs at the top?
No. He topped out at 97.
Listen, all I'm saying is it works for Christopher Sanchez. It worked for Christopher Sanchez.
Yeah, he averaged about 94 in his outing. He said that his answer was he was working through mechanical changes, so he didn't want to throw full effort in that spring training game in case he hurt himself by changing his mechanics.
Fair enough.
And so now he's back to throwing 95. Oh well.
Great.
Anyway,
right. Can I talk about the White Sox?
Yeah, if you have to.
Guys, Murakami's so cool.
He is raking. Like we talked about this earlier. He is raking. The White Sox struck out 47 times across 3 games.
That's so much.
Just so 47 times, was that the correct number?
I think it's 47. Hold on, let me.
There's 81 outs in 3 games.
No, 43.
Oh, makes it better. There's still 81 outs in 3 games. I will say I was happy I was working for 2 of these games. Unfortunately, the only game I was able to fully watch on my phone while sitting at Taylor Stadium in Columbia, Missouri, while watching the greatest pitcher to ever cross the foul lines at Mizzou's baseball program, Ian Losey, give up 7 runs in 1 inning while not recording a single out. Was the one where they were once up 7-2.
You can't charge it to your ERA. That's the law.
I think he did record an out eventually, but I don't think it took a while. I was really excited to see Montgomery hit a home run in the first series. I have nothing to say on this pitching staff other than the fact that there's a lot of fun players in this lineup. Colson Montgomery is really cool. Munetaka Murakami has hit 3 home runs in his first 3 games while drawing 4 walks. I would like to talk to the people who didn't want to sign him. There's not a single pitcher I trust for more than 2 innings on this entire roster. The issue with that is that baseball games are 9 innings long. And most teams use what they call a starting pitcher that normally tries to get you at least into the 6th inning. And the White Sox just don't have a single one of those that is capable. Anyways, I was quite surprised to see the Yankees sweep the Giants. And I think it fully stems from the fact that their pitchers went out there and just said, shut up. You guys don't get to be on base. You guys don't get to hit the ball. You get to sit back down on the bench when I'm done with you.
I was really impressed.
3 games for the Giants is very, very bad. And I understand that it's a pitcher's park. I understand that. But I don't think any of us expected this Yankees staff to be this good, yeah?
No,
I did not.
Cam Schlittler literally started game 2.
I was about to say, Cam Schlittler was actually quite good.
He was.
8 strikeouts across 5 1/3. And I saw this chart from Rob Friedman, Pitching Ninja, on Twitter, that he has 3 fastballs, right? He has a fastball, I believe he has a cutter and a sinker, and they're all like 99. And if you look at his average release point for him, it's like all like one tiny dot. Like he tunnels these pitches so well. And I think he will be a very important part of this rotation down the stretch for the Yankees, especially since this was a lineup in the Giants that I thought was going to be good, or at least I had high hopes for. And, I thought they were going to get at least a run.
Yeah, I don't know. It is the first 3 games of the year, but, and I'll make the argument at the same time, you've just played every day for a month playing spring training baseball. And my first argument is maybe you could score a run off of Cam Schlittler, or maybe you could score a run off Max Fried. My second argument is, why do all of these teams play 3 games in 5 days after playing baseball every single day for a month?
Yeah, the way that MLB staggers their start to the season is always very frustrating to me. And this year it was especially bad, I think, and now that we're in Yankees-Giants territory, we can talk about the Netflix kickoff, I suppose.
Oh, my God.
I really enjoyed how it started 45 minutes late because Netflix wanted to do their own intro.
Bert Kreischer! Let's rant on this, but let me finish this thought real quick. Just having this game staggered alone by itself on Wednesday, and then you have like 2/3 of the teams playing on Thursday, and then there's 6 or 7 teams that open their season on Friday. Like, opening day should be a blanket across the board. Everybody's playing at the same time on the same day, right? I think teams having to wait 2 extra days to open their season was such bullshit this year. But anyway, Netflix. Let's talk about it.
Well, the other thing that was weird about that was that, like, the Giants played a spring training game the day before opening day. Yeah. Like, that doesn't happen. Normally there's a 2-day break or a day break. Everybody gets back. You settle in at the clubhouse and you go play baseball. But like, they literally played a AAA team, but they played a AAA team the day beforehand, and then we're like, okay, time to go play the Yankees. Like,
ready, go.
Also, if we're gonna, the Netflix thing was so stupid because I was like, why is this game starting late? Looking on Twitter, I'm watching this freaking opening day celebration of everything that happened, and I'm going, it's not raining. I come to find out they literally just started late because Netflix wanted it to. Because the Open took so long. Also, second point, Tony Vitello and the Giants, the whole org. Buster Posey, you're included here. What do you mean Game 2 of 162 is also opening day? And my favorite quote that came out of that was from Tony V. Well, we'll have a chance to win on opening day tomorrow because I guess that's what we're calling it. Noted. So they lost 3-0 that day.
So here's can I wind back to kind of the Netflix angle of this
on this as well.
So I'm looking at this article by Awful Announcing that talks about basically the hour before the game. What ended up happening was Netflix treated the hour before first pitch, I'm quoting this here, less like a baseball broadcast and more like a very expensive promotional vehicle for its own content library. John Cena walked us through the new ABS system. Fine, actually, as a way to introduce it to a new audience. But he was also there to promote Little Brother, exclusively on Netflix. Bert Kreischer was in a kayak on McCovey Cove, shirtless as always, to promote Free Bert. There was a Stranger Things promo. There was a Thrash promo. There was a Man on Fire promo. Jey Uso wasn't introduced to the Oracle Park crowd until 8:20 p.m., a full 20 minutes after game coverage, as a promotion for Monday Night Raw on Netflix. The reaction from the San Francisco crowd, which had not come to a baseball game to watch WWE programming, was somewhere between confused and indifferent. The one thing they didn't show was Thing from the Addams Family, a severed hand on a skateboard, throwing out the first pitch to advertise a Netflix exclusive piece of programming. Bert Kreischer awkwardly screams through player intros while a trolley car and a taxi are on the sides of the stadium with dancers on top of them. Everything about that in the pregame is this hazy mess that has really nothing to do with baseball. Not to mention, the pregame is not the worst, like the actual pregame show. You've got Al Duncan, Barry Bonds, Anthony Rizzo, and Albert Pujols, which seeing Barry Bonds being rather candid about his time with San Francisco was a really interesting thing. Al Duncan did a pretty good job playing point guard for 3 former players, especially someone who.
It was very clear to me that Elle Duncan knows nothing about baseball, and that's not a knock on her, but there were just some terminology slip-ups that I noticed that were bugging me a little bit. Anyway,
and another thing here. So the game is delayed 25 minutes after they advertise it start. And you see Matt Vasgersian, Hunter Pence, CC Sabathia. Pretty good booth. Matt Vasgersian is a seasoned enough MLB guy. Good enough play-by-play guy. Hunter Pence and CC Sabathia are kind of working out how to not talk over each other, and it works okay. And it ended up being fine. But then everything is just really like foggy or like gray or like washed out. Like everything is hazy.
That's about when I tuned in and I was like,
so
what's going on here?
So and this is only
the text you sent was, why does everything look like it's filmed in a movie that was shot in China?
Yeah, I said, why does this game have 2010's China filter on it?
So The reason is apparently that the center field camera is positioned in direct sunlight. Home field is in complete shade. And so the camera is at really bright light sensing, and the home plate is really dark, so it looks really washed out. And so as it gets darker, it fixes itself. But for the early game,
wait, it wasn't the gigantic drone smoke bomb flag that they did during the national anthem?
It was the camera.
There's a way to fix that.
Yeah. Also,
I do it all the time.
Any broadcast company that has ever shot any baseball before should know that.
Also,
they haven't. That's the.
Can I talk about the ad behind home plate?
Oh my Christ!
Adobe is the sponsor of MLB opening week.
We could tell,
but Adobe was not the in-stadium backstop sponsor. That was an MLB shop ad. Normally, national broadcasts will key in an ad over it. And most broadcasts know how to use keyframes and will put it rather properly behind, and it won't be an issue. Netflix does not know how to do
why it's so easy is because that cam should never move. That cam should always stay locked in.
So everything is gray, but then you have this high saturation red Adobe ad that is not properly keyed. So instead you just have Rafael Devers and he's glowing. With this red
issues that we know how to solve in the North.
Interns at SEC Network Plus. Do that.
Yep.
I did really enjoy watching the game with 2010's China filter on it for a little bit.
And the score button.
You could have indoctrinated me into the fact that San Francisco has a smog problem again.
Okay, and the score bug.
Yeah.
So, three-dimensional base path layout. You've got the runners on first, second, third. That's pretty good. But the balls and strikes are tiny. The count is tiny. The outs are tiny. The batter information is tiny. But the score is huge. So I know it's 0-0. For the life of me, I have no idea what the count is. In the fifth inning, the first ABS challenge of the season happens in the middle of Lauren Shahadi doing an in-game interview with Tony Vitello. Stop doing in-game interviews.
Correct.
Who likes these?
The SEC network during softball games that has to delay the entire.
You know who likes them? Network executives. Network executives like them.
And guess what?
It's so cool to hear from these guys.
Netflix didn't split screen it, didn't anything. They just didn't show it.
The first ABS challenge in the history of Major League Baseball. The first one. We just don't have it. We just missed it.
And look, it's not Lauren Shahadi's fault. She's doing her job. They sent her down there to interview Tony Vitello. She's interviewing Tony Vitello. Who in the production truck decided that you're not going to show that?
Yeah. Cut away from the interview and explain it later.
Well, good news, guys. Netflix only does 2 more events for the rest of the year.
True.
That is the T-Mobile Home Run Derby, live from Philadelphia on July 13th. So something nobody's going to watch anyways.
Netflix?
Just kidding. I'm watching it. And the MLB Field of Dreams game on August 13th between the Phillies and the Twins, which one of those teams is ungodly awful. So I don't know how many people will watch that one either.
So all this is to say,
yeah,
Netflix has a lot of really big ideas, but they seem to forget that they're also supposed to be doing a baseball game and not doing Netflix. Because everyone there is not coming to see Netflix.
Yeah,
you're seeing a baseball game. As soon as Netflix figures out that the audience that is coming to Netflix to see this game is not going to stay on Netflix, and they don't have to cater to Netflix, it will be so much better.
Yeah. It was Andrew Marchand, who's with The Athletic, who wrote a really good piece on this, a really good column on this. If you haven't read that, put some eyes on it. But his thesis of it basically was Netflix thought that people wanted to watch Netflix, and in reality, people wanted to watch baseball, and it happened to be on Netflix. And if Netflix continues, in my opinion, if Netflix continues to think people are going to want to watch Netflix and not baseball, I think they're going to find that they have some very poor ratings for baseball.
Yep.
Do we want to talk about
NL?
Yeah, let's do the AL.
Comes team dead last. In the American League this weekend, Minnesota traveled to Baltimore, and Baltimore won Game 1 2-1. Cowser and Blaze Alexander each have RBIs. Trevor Rogers goes 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 5 Ks. 4-1 for Minnesota in Game 2. Royce Lewis with a 2-run homer. Taj Bradley goes 4.1 with 9 strikeouts in just 4 1/3 innings. And Baltimore wins Game 3 to get the series 8-6. Tyler O'Neill hits a 3-run homer, and Beavers has 2 RBIs. The Angels and Houston in a 4-gamer to start the year. 3-0 win for LA in Game 1. Trout, Shanuel each homer, and Soriano goes 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 7 Ks. 6-2 win in Game 2 for the Angels. Josh Lowe hits a 3-run homer. Trout homers again, and Zach Neto homers. 11-9 in Game 3 as Houston takes this one. They have an 8-run 6th inning. Paredes, Correa, Diaz, and Myers each have 2 RBIs on the day. And Game 4, a 9-7 win for Houston. Paredes, Walker, and Vasquez each have 2 RBIs. Cleveland and Seattle split a 4-game series. This is what I like to call Chase DeLauder time. 6-4 in Game 1. DeLauder homers twice. Game 2, a 5-1 win for Seattle. DeLauder homers, Cole Young has a 3-run homer, and Rake Rayleigh has a 2-run home run as well. Game 3, a 6-5 win after 10 innings for Cleveland. And guess what? In the top of the 10th, Chase DeLauder has a 2-run home run to take the lead. Game 4, an 8-0 win for Seattle as Brendan Donovan homers. Rosarena has 2 RBIs, and Emerson Hancock goes 6 innings pitched, 0 hits, 9 strikeouts. Cooper Criswell comes in, 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 5 Ks to close that one out. And Toronto sweeps at the Athletics. Game 1, a 3-2 win as Shea Langeliers homers twice.
I call her Langeliers.
Jimenez has a 2-run triple and a walk-off RBI single. He scored every run there. Game 2, an 8-7 win in 11 innings for Toronto. Guess what? Akala Langeliers hits a grand slam, but Kirk, he ties it in the 9th with a homer. Then Clement with a walk-off RBI single to win it. And Game 3, a 5-2 win for Toronto. Springer, Sanchez, and Okamoto all homer.
I need you guys to go look at Emerson Hancock's like pitching highlights from this game, because he was throwing the most demonic sweepers I think I've ever seen. Like
he's been one of those guys forever that I think is on the precipice, and he's just been due for so long to really break through.
Chase DeLauder's pretty cool too. I'd have to point out.
Yeah,
4 home runs in 3 games.
So the stat for DeLauder, 4 home runs in his first 3 games. He's the second rookie ever to do that. Can you name the other one, gentlemen?
Michael Trout.
Not Mike Trout.
Darn.
Oh wait, Trevor Story.
Oh
Correct.
yes.
Kyle Lewis.
Yeah. No. Lewis had 3 home runs in 3 games.
Yeah.
He and Murakami.
Wow.
If Murakami hits one today, then technically Murakami would also be on the list I just said. With Story and DeLauder.
Yeah, so it was Trevor Story 2017. And what I want people to remember about Trevor Story is it wasn't just 3 home runs in 4 games, because he hit 2 home runs in Game 1, a home run in Game 2, a home run in Game 3, just like DeLauder. They were even at that point. In Game 4, Story hit 2 more home runs. And then he hit another one in Game 6. So what I'm saying is DeLauder, your work's still cut out for you, buddy.
All right.
Do you think Chase, like, the thing is that one of these hits from Chase DeLauder is a 99-mile-an-hour fastball elevated outside corner from Andres Munoz.
That doesn't give up home runs.
Who doesn't give up home runs. And the thing is, Chase DeLauder was free swinging that whole at bat. He should not have swung at that pitch. That is a bad pitch to swing at. And he muscles it out the opposite field. You have to be a different kind of strong to do that on a pitch 99 elevated outer third. I mean, look, at this point, Jason Dominguez has lost his right to the Martian nickname, and it's Chase DeLauder's. Like, by the way, Jason Dominguez, Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders legend. He's there, right there with Spencer Jones. You know, I'm sure they're having a blast out there. But Chase DeLauder is in Major League Baseball. John, are you looking up where Scranton Wilkes-Barre is?
Oh, God.
No, I was looking to see if Jason Dominguez was on.
John, what state is that in? What state is Scranton in?
Pennsylvania. Am I wrong?
Really? No, you're right.
I was going to say, what?
How do you know that?
The Office.
Oh, boo. I knew it.
No, I'm sorry. I was making sure that, or trying to see if Dominguez was on the Yankees 40-man. He is, so they will probably call him up at some point this year and then send him back down because he's not very good.
The Office character Ryan Howard is a direct reference to baseball Ryan Howard because he was a player for Scranton Wilkes-Barre when that show was filming. It's 100% a true story.
Should we be worried about the Astros or excited for the Angels? Or we don't care?
Yeah.
Too early. Yeah.
To me, these are the two teams that are finishing the bottom of the AL West. Like, these are, who cares?
Tatsuya Imai will be able to work through it. I think he will right the ship, but
well, to the NL?
Yes.
One last thought before we jump out of the AL from Toronto. Shout out Spencer Miles picking up his first major league appearance, first major league win as well. The story goes the former Missouri Tigers reliever was drafted by Toronto in the Rule 5 draft this offseason, got a call from them telling him to report to their spring training facility, in Dunedin. And as the story goes, he goes, "Oh, that's great. My girlfriend lives in Dunedin." And he was there the next day and working in the facility the next day and made such a great impression that he went from working in low A all the way up to the major league roster and now earns his first major league win the day after opening day. Congratulations to Spencer Miles.
Yay.
To the National League, the New York Mets pick up game 1 against the Pittsburgh Pirates, and let's just talk about it. They killed Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens is dead. I think it's notable to note that I'll say it again, that his longtime girlfriend Livy Dunn was seen pictured with very muscular men earlier that week. They lose 11-7. Brandon Lowe has two home runs. Carson Bench hits his first home run. Alvarez hits a home run. A 5-run first inning for the Mets as they kill Skeens. A 4-2 win for the Mets in game 2 after 11 innings. All of the runs in this game were scored in the 10th inning or later, and you've probably seen it. It's the Luis Robert 3-run home run walk-off because he's not on the White Sox anymore. He knows how to hit. And 4-3 in Game 3, Pittsburgh takes it after 10 innings. Brandon Lowe hits a home run. And in the top of the 10th, Ryan O'Hearn has the RBI single, and Henry Davis with the RBI single as well. Washington takes 2 of the 3 games against the Cubs. They take Game 1 10-4. Joey Wiemer hits a home run. Jacob Young as well, and Brady House has a 2-run home run, a 6-run fourth for the Nationals. Cubs come back on day 2 with a 10-2 win as Amaya and Happ each have homers. And game 3, the Nationals put some runs on the board in that first inning as Joey Weimer hits a 3-run home run, and Keibert Ruiz adds 2 more later in the day. They win 6-3. The Dodgers sweep the Arizona Diamondbacks to start the year, but that's okay. They were playing in LA, and they only play for rings in the desert. 8-2 in Game 1. Perdomo has the 2-run homer, then Andy Pages hits a 3-run home run, and Will Smith hits a 2-run homer. Game 2, a 5-4 win for Los Dojers. Alex Freeland with the homer and Betts with the home run. And 3-2 in Game 3. Will Smith, another home run on the day. Tyler Glasnow, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 6 Ks. Notice I didn't mention a single one of the former MVPs other than Mookie Betts. Colorado gets swept by Miami. Game 1, a 2-1 win. The Marlins win as Casey, an RBI double. Alcantara with 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 5 Ks. In Game 2, a 4-2 win for Miami. Here you go. TJ Rumsfeld has a home run. Tovar with a 2-run home run, but Liam Hicks with a 2-run shot himself. And Owen Casey has the RBI single in the first. Was it a 4-3 game? It was a 4-3 game. Game 3, a 4-3 win for Miami as well. Owen Casey has the 2-run home run walk-off. And that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, what can we talk about? What should we talk about in the National League?
Will they kill Paul Skeens by the trade deadline? Now trading on Polymarket. But not Kalshi, because they're claiming to have full high ground.
Because they operate under U.S. law. And if you have to specify that you operate under U.S. law, look, I saw a tweet today that said
that's what I was referencing.
So there's a tweet that on a bus stop billboard that says Kalshi fact number 2. We don't do death trading. That's like we operate under U.S. law. And someone took a picture of it and tweeted with like my we are operating under the law billboard answers a lot of questions. Is getting a lot of questions already answered by my we operate under the law billboard. Like, I think if you have to specify.
Can I actually trade on if Paul Skeens dies or not on Polymarket?
Almost certainly. The thing that I get hung up on with that ad is like, you can't gamble on people being dead is rule number 2. What the hell's rule number 1?
Oh my god.
Let me find this ad.
I'll see if I can find it for you. The Rockies looked fine in our opening series. I mean, yes, the Marlins swept them, but the Marlins are a team that I think is continuing to step into their window. I think they got a lot of positive momentum last year. I think that they are going to be a fringe wildcard contender this year. The Rockies just simply aren't there yet. The fact that they were in all 3 of these games is, I don't want to say a moral win because I don't really believe in moral victories, and especially not this early in the season. But I think there is reason for Rockies fans to be positive this year for the first time in a little while. And kind of on that note, there was a poll that came out earlier today from The Athletic that was just kind of like a fan satisfaction rating amongst all 30 MLB teams. And there were some notable outcrops like the White Sox, for example, who 67% of fans are happy with right now. But my Rockies had a 25% fan satisfaction rating, and I would be willing to bet that 25% is the highest that number has been since 2019.
Is it because of that, like the new Monfort, Walker Monfort?
So listen, I understand the perception of, oh great, the family that has run this team into the ground is handing the job off to their son. Surely he's going to be able to not run everything into the ground again, right? Like, I understand that perception, but from everything I've heard from people in baseball, Walker is a very sharp baseball guy and knows a lot of baseball people and kind of cut his teeth the right way. And Patrick Saunders of the Denver Post put out a very good feature on him for opening day, just kind of talking about his process of turning things over. And there were some very revealing quotes in there from Dick Momford, his father, saying basically like, yeah, I wasn't really happy with a lot of the changes he made. And to me, that was the most glowing review that a person could have possibly got. Like, if the dude that ruined this team is upset about the changes that are being made, then they're probably good changes. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Can we go into, or John, do you have something, or can we go into a new segment real quick?
My thing is about the call sheet rules. I found the call sheet rules.
Guess what? It's my turn. Welcome to our new segment on the Chatting Average. We'll call it JLFO, or Jon Lieber Finds Out. Sitting in front of me are Adam Busak. Sitting in front of me are Adam Busak and John Sansoni, members of the Chatting Average podcast on Spotify and wherever you get your podcast. Adam Busak, would you please open that manila envelope that I just sent to your Twitter DMs? And please read the quoted tweet first and then read the quote tweet. And tell me what you see.
Okay, the tweet in question is what Jon Lieber was speaking to earlier, which was an ad on the side of a train which says, Kalshi rule number 4, we operate under U.S. law. And the tweet attached says, our, quote, we operate under U.S. law, quote, ad is raising a lot of questions already answered by the ad. Now, the quote tweet that Mr. Lieber sent me says, so far I've seen, quote, we don't bet on death, end quote, as rule number 2, and quote, we follow the law, end quote, as rule number 4. Really banger of an ad campaign to get you going on there, Kalshi. Definitely will reassure people.
And Adam, can you please tell me the date and time of that second tweet that you just read posted? The one that it's quoting is about an hour beforehand.
Yes, this was 12:49 p.m. of March the 30th, 2026.
That would be today as we're recording. Adam, and can you just reiterate what is rule number 2 for me?
Rule number 2, as stated in this tweet, is we don't allow bets on people dying.
Okay. John Sansoni, in front of me and in front of you is a manila envelope in your Twitter DMs. John, can you tell me what you see and maybe the date and time that this tweet was sent out, and maybe don't read the tweet just yet. Just give us that.
Mm-hmm. This is a tweet by the New York Post at NY Post on X, formerly known as Twitter. This was posted at 11:22 a.m. on March 5th, 2026. So
this was almost a month ago.
Yes. Correct. Yes. And John, if you will, please be the blue bubbles of this tweet.
Really taking this role play seriously. This is
crazy. Be the blue bubbles. So, I'll be the gray bubbles in the comments, please.
Okay. So the caption of the tweet is, quote, Kalshi refuses to pay winnings on $54 million trade related to Khamenei's death, drawing user fury with a hyperlink.
Khamenei is
the former Ayatollah,
Supreme
of
Leader
the Islamic
Ayatollah
Republic
of Iran. And in the gray bubbles here, in the comments section, if the market was allowed, the payout should be honored. So within the last 25 days, one could assume Kalshi has decided that they're no longer betting on death because they don't want to pay out $54 million in winnings for somebody betting on Khamenei's death.
Can I read the first 3 paragraphs of this New York Post story?
Please.
Sure.
Prediction market Kalshi has drawn outrage for refusing to pay out winnings on a $54 million trade related to the death of Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Many bettors assumed that they had won big on wagers that Khomeini would be, quote, out as supreme leader by Saturday as he was killed after he was killed in joint U.S.-Israeli airstrikes over the weekend. But Kalshi, an American prediction market that allows users to bet on politics, sports, foreign affairs, and pop culture, announced it would not be paying out any winnings on those wagers since its guidelines prohibit markets, quote, directly tied to death. Quote, can I have this can I have this last one?
Yeah.
Quote, literally go fuck yourselves. This is ridiculous, one user tweeted, adding a photo that showed they placed a $72.90 bet that could have paid out $936, but only got $18.72 from Kalshi.
Now, this is quite an interesting situation, and in front of both of you is one more manila envelope. Can you open it? And I'll explain what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a direct wire transfer from the bank account of President Donald J. Trump to his Kalshi account of $56 million. And he bet it right before those strikes happened. Or somebody in the White House did. Who knows?
I actually started looking for this tweet. I'm so serious.
Too.
I went through my Twitter DMs like, did he actually just send me this?
No, but I'm sure this could soon be a story on the real PTFO.
Believe me, there are people foiling a lot of federal government Kalshi accounts.
So, can I give you the 5 Kalshi rules?
There's only 5.
I'm so excited.
Again, 4 is we operate under U.S. law.
Here is Kalshi rule.
To always have fun.
Kalshi rule number 1. We ban insider trading because Kalshi is a federally regulated U.S. exchange. Kalshi rule number 2. We don't offer death markets because Kalshi is a federally regulated U.S. exchange. Kalshi rule number 3. We aren't the house because Kalshi is a federally regulated U.S. exchange. Kalshi rule number 4. We operate under U.S. law because Kalshi is a federally regulated U.S. law or U.S. exchange. And Kalshi rule number 5. We don't win when you lose because Kalshi is a federally regulated U.S. exchange.
Technically, these are
really want you to know that they're federally regulated.
Technically, they haven't broken a single one of those laws. They're rules. They don't offer death bets. That's why it's not paid out when Khomeini dies, because it was just if he will be out.
I mean, arguably, they don't offer bets at all. They just allow other people to offer bets.
Yeah, and you're betting against the people. So, like, if you say Adam Busak will say the word pineapple on the next Chatting Average episode,
don't bet on that.
Don't bet on that. And I say yes, and John says no. I'm betting against John, not the house, because there's no house. Anyways, let's go to the Immaculate Grid.
Kalshi, and what they're doing is shaving like 20% off the top of both the winner and the loser. Just for what
yes, correct.
Anyway,
but you're not being paid out through the house. You're being paid out through the other people's bets. That's why it's technically
they just filter it through the house
and not a sports book.
Yes, correct.
Okay. The Immaculate Grid. The Immaculate Grid is a 3x3 grid with 9 intersections. I'm glad we could enjoy that Jon Lieber Finds Out episode. We'll have another one next week. The rows are the Washington Nationals, the Twins, and Gold Glove. And the columns are the Angels, the St. Louis Cardinals, and played center field a minimum of 1 singular game. Don't all jump out at once.
For Twins, played center field, Austin Martin.
He is in.
Or Cardinals Nationals, Mark Reynolds.
He is in.
I'm trying to think here. For Nationals, played center field, D. Strange Gordon.
I like that one. I was going to go with Brian Goodwin, but we can do D. Strange. Also in.
Or Cardinals Twins, Lance Lynn.
Is he still playing baseball, or did he retire? He retired. Okay.
Yeah, he retired. For Nationals Angels. How about? Okay, you go first then.
It's Adam Eaton. What do you think?
Okay. Mine was Ehire Adrianza.
Adam, you pick.
I vote for Adrianza.
He is in.
Gold Glove center fielder. Because that's the thing, is they could win a Gold Glove and they don't have to play center field that much.
They don't have to win it. Wait, they don't have to win it at center field, do they?
No.
Okay.
Okay, I've got a really funny one.
Okay.
Colton Wong.
You're right, that is a funny one.
0.07%.
That's right. Colton Wong, 2-time Gold Glover. He won a Gold Glove and got 20th in MVP voting in 2019. He only played second base.
For Nationals center fielder, I would like to nominate Eddie
You already
Rosario.
have that.
Nope, never mind then.
Sorry, bud.
Never mind then. Felt really good about that answer too. That's okay.
That is where D. Strange Gordon is.
St. Louis. Gold.
Yeah,
Glove.
what are we short on right now?
We need a twin angel and then Gold Glove Angel, Gold Glove Cardinal.
Gold Glove Cardinal. You could do Jason Hayward.
Newly retired Jason Hayward.
That's true. That's what made me think of him.
Good job, buddy.
Twins Angels, right? That's what we need.
Twins Angels.
And Angels Gold Glove?
And Angels Gold Glove, correct. I have a twin angel.
I do too.
Okay, you go first.
Aaron Hicks.
Hanzo Robles. John?
Aaron Hicks. Angels Gold Glove, Martin Maldonado.
He won it with them?
Machete.
I'm pretty sure he did. Like he won a couple Gold Gloves, right?
Are you sure? Like how sure are you?
I am.
He played a singular season with the Angels, and he won it that year. 8 on the rarity score. Hardest spot on the grid today was that spot. Nope, I lied. I'm really bad at reading numbers. Call me Mickey Doolittle. Washington Nationals, St. Louis Cardinals, 56%.
Look, and that's chatting average rule number 1. We get the rarity score down because we are a federally regulated U.S. podcast.
And chatting average rule number 2 is that we do bet on death because we are a
federally regulated U.S. podcast. And chatting average rule number 3: have fun.
And chatting
If
average.
you like the chatting average, first of all.
Oh, we have one more rule. Chatting average rule
go
number
ahead.
4. Please commit at least 4 FCC violations a podcast.
Rule number
Because we are a
5 is
federally
that,
regulated podcast.
rule number 5 is that we are not under FCC purview because this is a podcast, not over the air. If you enjoy the Chatting Average, first of all, why? But second of all, you can find us on Twitter at the Chatting AVG. We're not active there, but maybe we'll get better about it if Twitter stops being a terrible place to be. If you listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, hopefully you're subscribed. Same on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. If you're tuning in on YouTube, go ahead and drop in the comments your thoughts on what Jon Lieber is currently doing.
If you are watching on your Samsung G7 27.2 cubic foot fridge, let us know. That'll be the first, and we'd like to shout you out on our Twitter.
Absolutely, we would.
All right, bye.